Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I think this is the first Sunday of the new year we're having service. So, yeah, 2025. What a year, right? Finally made it to 2025. Personally, I was really excited for 2025. Finally, we're here. Let's start with announcements. We actually have only one today. How amazing is that, right? A really special one coming up is the 3-day Hyojan Chumbo special workshop. So we are going to have that here at Belvedere on February 14th to the 16th. Please save these dates. Mark your calendars if you want to attend. And registration is coming soon. Just a little bit about this. The workshop will include Ansu counseling sessions with trained Ansu specialists. So it includes ancestral liberation, but no blessing, so removal and liberation of the central evil spirits, and federal liberations as well. Just look forward to that. And if you can't make those days, the 14th and 16th, there is an opportunity to go to Bridgeport as well in March 7th to the 9th that weekend. All right. Well, just look forward to any emails being sent out in the next, week or so, any announcements that may be coming up. And you can also look at belvederefamily.com for any more information. Let's really start up the new year with some great songs. So let's invite the song team.
Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year to everyone online that you can make it today. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling alive and well? Yay!
Yes.
We finally made it to 2025. And guess what? We have Rubicon back. Well, my music in 2024. So, we're going to sing some good songs here. So, the first one is We Have a Story to Tell to the Nation. We do have a story to tell to the nation. And that's about building the kingdom here, which will be the second song. We'll do it at the Belvedere Training Center, which is the Belvedere song, which is the last song. So, we have a story to tell to the nation.
We've a story to tell to the nations that shall turn their hearts to the light. A story of truth and mercy, a story of peace and light, a story of peace and light. To the dawning and the dawning to noonday bright, and Christ's great kingdom will come to earth, the kingdom of God. We've a song to be sung to the nations, and to lift their hearts to the Lord, a song that shall conquer evil and shatter the spirit's sword, and shatter the spirit's sword. Our hearts will turn to the dawning, and the dawning to noonday bright, and Christ's great kingdom will come to earth, the kingdom of love and light. We've a message to give to the nation, that the Lord who reigns in the land the dawning to noonday bright, and Christ's great kingdom shall come to earth, the kingdom of love and love. And Christ's great kingdom shall come to earth, the kingdom of love and light. Come Come set your hearts ablaze with hope, like wildfire in our very souls. Holy Spirit, come and make us one. Your church, we the power in
morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's pray. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, we're so grateful to be here in this beautiful place. Our true parents prepared for us. Preparing us to look back over the year that's passed as we begin this new year here at Belvedere. We are so grateful for everything we've been able to experience, together receive the past year. We've all had many struggles and things, because of you and because of our true parents, because of each other, we've been able to get through the year and to grow and to experience many things. And now as we think about the new year, we're looking forward to this amazing new year and the opening of the Sanctum, all the amazing things that we can do this year as we seek to build your kingdom within ourselves and all around us, Father. We just pray that you always with us and each other. Bring your spirit so we experience peace. We can have a year of amazing growth in ourselves and each other. Our external environment will just change in an amazing way this year. So please speak to us through our entire service today, through the speakers and through Jim. Now for this prayer, in my name,
Thank you, Gary, for the beautiful prayer. So for today, we are going to be reflecting on the year of the Blue Dragon. So we're going to be reflecting on the past year, and we have a couple of testimonies and also a nice recap video of 2024. So first up, I really want to introduce Kyung-hee. He's fresh from GPA, so let's welcome him up.
Hello. Is this louder?
Yeah.
Good morning, Belvedere Church.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Great.
So, yes, today I'm going to be giving a testimony about my experience on Heavenly USA so far. And I have about 15 minutes to do it, so I'll try to make it quick. Let's see. So, about a year ago, actually no, a few months ago, in the summer, I remember standing on the stage and giving a testimony about my experience fundraising. It was, I believe, the testimony about how I met God through a gentleman who walked out of a fitness place and then was going to give me a flip, was going to do like a backflip. So yeah, that was like the start or the seed of my faith or experiences through God. But after fundraising, you might have many of these experiences, or even in life, you might notice these things happening in your life that may indicate that God is there. But we learn as a movement that God is more than just a miracle worker, right? He's not just even a teacher. He's our heavenly parent. And that's the relationship that we're trying to cultivate with him. And this, for me, was actually probably the biggest struggle of my year in Heavenly USA. Because no longer was I just looking for faith in God, for the ability to believe in God and know that he was there, but I had to go deeper. And that was really difficult. So I noticed that there's a few GPA first years here. And during Heavenly USA, we actually crossed paths with the first years a few times. And one of those times was actually during kickoff workshop. And kickoff workshop for me was very very beautiful time, because I was standing in the position to help other people or the next generation have a better experience than I had in meeting God and knowing about God and true parents. So I had a lot of hope. And plus, in Korea, I actually have two younger brothers. So it felt like natural instincts were kicking in. Oh, I gotta make this good for them. And I remember working hard. It felt strange. I felt so in tune with what God wanted me to do, based on the foundation of like the past year of GPA. Like if God wanted me to do it, I just go here, go there, help this person, help that person. But at the end of it, not sure if they remember, but there's a notebook ceremony, and it's a ceremony where the second years, they create these like little notebooks for the first years, and then it's kind of a way to welcome them into their internal journey, because they use this notebook to record like lectures or their thoughts and feelings, reflections. And so I remember I was part of the praise team, so we sing to create that atmosphere. And after we finished, um, I remember I made a notebook for Skylar Talaxa. Not sure if any of you know her. And I kind of prepared it during summer break, which was like from June to mid-July. And I remember seeing that notebook like after we finished, like in her hands. And this indescribable feeling of love and regret came over me. Because in my heart, I knew that I could have done more. Even though I felt like I was following God's word, listening to him through my central figures and finding what I could do to help support the first years, I still knew in my heart that there was more that I could have done if I had gotten a little bit more out of myself, if I had sacrificed more of my time. And when I looked at her and saw her so happy to have that notebook, my heart just broke, because I knew so deeply that they deserve so much more than what I was able to give them. And that's, I think, as I was like, and then after that, I just kind of started sobbing in the corner, and like the staff were like coming over to comfort me and stuff. But and eventually I was like, "Do you want to go outside?" I was like, "Yes." And then and I was like looking at the moon. And I was like, "True Father, what?" Okay, anyway, um, so, but then of course, naturally, I came to think about like God. Like God has this heart towards us all the time. He loves every single one of us so deeply, and yet the best he can offer us is what we have right now through the people around us and what we can give to each other. I'm sure he never wanted for us to be living in a world where so much pain and sorrow happens every day, but that's where we are right now because of the past. But yeah, after that day, I think something kind of changed inside of me. I guess I kind of realizing this now, but when I first came to GPA, it was for fairly selfish reasons, I feel. Growing up, I felt like this sense of passion and purpose, and living with that purpose felt the greatest, right? Like to live for something great, to want to be able to give to people. It filled me with so much, I don't know, so much love, so much strength. And I guess losing that along my journey of faith made me hunger for that again. And that's why I came to GPA, to find that. But when I experience, ever since experiencing that heart of God, that wasn't really enough anymore. Even if like I experienced this fulfillment and purpose, if how can I live for that when I know that God loves everyone so much more than I can ever give? It's strange. I don't know. I'm sure it takes a lot to be able to give 100%. I mean, we've all had experiences where like you gave everything, right? At some point in your life, even if it was for like a second, right? Yeah, even if it is for a second, that's like you can say, okay, for this 1 second, I gave everything I could. Like we can all say that, right? But giving that for like your whole life is just something so incredible, don't you think? Right? And I feel when I look at like people like Jesus and true parents and many of the church members here, it's like I can see that they have that, even if it's not like, but like you can see when they're giving a lot. And yeah, my biggest struggle in GPA now on Heavenly USA hasn't been me trying to find this passion anymore so much as trying to help others feel God's love. But there was one time, one little instance where I did feel like I could give something to somebody. And that was in Little Rock, Arkansas, about 2 months ago. No, a month ago. Yeah, okay. My sense of time is a little wonky. But anyway, in Little Rock, Arkansas, when Heavenly USA was witnessing there for 50 days, 50 plus days. Now, I'd struggled with witnessing. Again, since I was wanting to find this passion and not feeling it during witnessing, it was difficult for me to push myself to invest. And so even when like they asked us, like, how many spiritual children do you want to have? I actually said 0 because I didn't feel like I was committed enough to actually do that. But it was towards like one of the last few days we had in Little Rock, Arkansas. So everybody else, like, it was crazy. Like I saw like my brothers and sisters like having spiritual children. Like my mind was blown because I'd never seen that before. But anyway, one day we were having one of our final Principles of Peace seminars. It's kind of like a DP lecture, but we teach about like True Mother, and like it's more of like a lecture for a general audience. Like what are the principles we can follow to create a peaceful world? And Reverend Jackson was there. I'm not sure if any of you know him. He was giving the lecture, and I remember we had a break time. Okay, so the church in Little Rock, Arkansas is actually a cafe. It's a cafe in progress. It's called True Brew. If I had pictures, I'd probably show you. But it's like there's a front like cafe section. Maybe this is here, cafe section. And here's the street, the parking lot, cafe section. And then back here, there's the church where people can meet. And so I walked towards the cafe area, and then I noticed that there was a long line of people right outside the door. Not like leading into it, but like if there's a cafe, there's a long line of people here. And they were actually standing in line, I found out, to get furniture from the church next door. There's a church like right next to us, and they were handing out furniture for free, which was nice. And one of my brothers, Ian Berganza, he made the kind of offhand suggestion, hey, why don't we invite some of these guys to the seminar? Like could be fun. And I kind of heard it, and then I was like, oh, okay, God, I see what you're doing. I'll think about it. And then a few minutes later, I was like, okay, let's do it. So I stepped out, and then there's like a bunch of people. And by that time, like the line had kind of ended, like they had finished giving out the furniture. So, but I started talking to people. I just like, oh, hi, my name's Kelly, and we're holding this cool seminar. I was wondering if you'd like to join, something like that. And then I asked one person, I asked a mom and her daughter, and then I asked Michael. Michael was there. He was kind of at the tail end of it. And I talked to him, and I was like, hey, do you want to come? And I said, well, I have to drop this off first, but yeah, I'd like to come. And I was like, okay. And from fundraising experience, I kind of, I guess I kind of developed the concept that if that happens, then there's a good chance that the person might not come back. But I just was like, okay, I'll have faith, it'll be fine. So I go back inside, and then 2 minutes before the Principles of Peace seminar was going to end, I think we were singing to close it off. Michael walks in the door. Yeah, he walks in and then goes to the hallway. He's like, huh, is Kenley here? And then I see him, I'm like, oh, Michael. And then we finish it off with the song, and then afterward, we get to talking. And I think this was the time where I felt like I could give. It was actually an internal struggle, right? Like in my heart, I felt like, oh, I don't know if I should be doing this because I don't feel like this strong sense of passion to give and to love this person. But still, I was like, okay, if God were here, like, what would he want me to do? Like, how can I think more about this person instead of myself? And then we just kept on spending time together, talking about like his life, about everything that he'd been doing, about his family. And a few hours later, we talked for a few hours straight. Eventually, I showed him out to his car and then said goodbye. And I thought that would be the end of it. I wasn't really thinking long term because we were leaving in a few days. Who said we were going to leave Little Rock? But a week or so later, I get a text from Koa Rigsby. She's one of the members there in the Little Rock, Arkansas community. And she showed me a picture. She texted me a picture that Michael was there. He was actually at the events that they were holding, the game night. And for me, this was like mind-boggling. Like, wait, like a person that I invited actually came to an event that the church is holding? Like, what? That's crazy. And I just felt like this strange sense of like gratitude to God, but also a little bit of pride for Michael. It's like, I don't know, maybe the closest thing to having like kids is like spiritual kids, because like I just wanted him to do well and to grow, and so seeing him making that step was like so heartwarming. But anyway, I'm sure many of you guys have experienced that too. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Yes, it's been a few weeks now. I was actually at the up and coming praise and worship masterclass, the Holy Spirit masterclass there, and Michael called me in the middle of it to ask me about a spare turkey that they had, because his family had like an extra turkey and they wanted to find out if the church could use it. So it's been such a blessing to see like Michael's journey, but it only, I think, happened. Like I only met him in person one time. That's the crazy thing. One time. And I spent like those few hours with him investing and like just trying to give what I could. And the result of that is that Michael is now, it looks like he's a part of that community. So I really feel like God is able to work through that, especially. I don't know if it has to be, I mean, consistency is obviously important in a relationship, but even if it can't be, those few moments where we decide to give everything that we can, even if it's difficult, I feel like those moments are just so precious. I never knew like how impactful it could be because, well, we were witnessing, it was like, okay, we have to make this relationship and then hold these events. But it really was just that those few hours that I spent with Michael that led to this big change. So yeah, I think moving forward, this relationship with God that we're all trying to cultivate, I feel like if we can introduce these kinds of moments to God too, then I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. And I hope that this next year, 2025, can be a really big one for all of you. I know that, we're going to be going to the Cheonwongung, all of us on GPA, and I wish sometimes like I could read Mother's mind, like what exactly I should be doing right now to help her. But yeah, following such figures, learning about God, I think this is basics. And I'm just really glad that I'm here in America, because I was in Korea for the past 11 years, being able to learn about God and experience these things. So thank you all so much, and have a blessed 2025.
Thank you, Kyung-hee. One more time. One round of applause. Gosh, thank you for sharing your experience and experiences. That's truly inspiring. So thank you so much. So yeah, now we'll be watching a recap video of 2024 and see what the Belvedere community did for the past year. So let's enjoy.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere and the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything
All that I am, feel this way, my girl. Talking about my girl. I am all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. For it all. Grateful for it all.
you're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I get back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, or if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain. No, bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am, all that I see,
Everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Wow.
grateful for it all.
You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Graduating class, I share with you a few words as you begin this new chapter in your lives.
Have your eye on the goal, but then let it all go. For everything changes, as you will come to know. Every plan you make and every seed you sow is impermanent. Nothing is ever yours to own. Once you realize this, oh, you will see the truth that you never were the planter of your own fruits. But accept these gifts, even if you don't know from who, and kindly pay it forward to those behind you. Because ultimately, what we take will always disappear, but what we give will live on for years. So keep giving of your stuff and yourself until your ego has completely melted. Beware of the infinite.
It's alive when we reach the top and we look back. I will be proud. filled with tears of joy, satisfied.
Be careful not to accumulate too many things, because you may just end up with a pot full of greed, and doing likewise can also be deceiving. So I encourage you all to practice just being. Be still, be happy, be loving, be kind, be humble, be magical, be aware, but be blind. Don't judge, see the good in each and every soul. Use your mind when needed, but follow your heart even more. Also, don't forget to thank God every time you fail, because your journey from failure will be your legacy and tale. Remember to feed birds, hug trees, and bow to the sun until you and Mother Nature are one. The last thing is to be grateful for all of your gifts, for gratitude and suffering cannot coexist. When you reach this space, every moment will be bliss, and this graduating class will mark your success.
We move on as time passes by. Let's just hope we move from darkness to light. When we reach the top and we look back up, hope we cry, filled with tears of joy, satisfied.
Happy, free, confused and lonely, miserable and magical at the same time. Our capacity to love is a currency that just never runs out.
Satisfied.
Consider the likes of Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and may each of you tap into that generous ocean and discover every day what it means to give. In giving, may you fully experience what it means to receive. And as Martin Luther King says, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. May you all find greatness in service to life. May you all give, receive, and never, ever stop dancing. Thank you.
We move on as time passes by. Let's just hope we move from darkness to light. When we reach the top and we look back up, hope we cry, filled with tears of joy, satisfied.
Wow, that was so nice. Thank you to Pastor Justin for creating that video for all of us today. So next, let's introduce Pastor Justin.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Was it nice to reflect on this past year, see everything that we've gone through together as a community? So, yeah, I just wanted to share my own reflection from this past year. So I'm going to keep it relatively brief. And as we know, last year was the year of the Blue Dragon, right? So in the beginning of the year, Mother Moon, she talked a little bit about the year of the Blue Dragon. Said the year of the Blue Dragon, the 12th year of Chunilguk. In this year of the Blue Dragon, all negative energy will dissipate. So just take a moment to think about that this past year. Did you feel some negative energy dissipating this past year? Really think about that, think about your own life. We're not just talking about what happened with the movement, right? We're not just talking about what happened with this local community, what happened worldwide. We're talking also about your personal life, right? In our own personal journey, did we feel that this year of the Blue Dragon, somehow some kind of negative energy was dissipated and disappeared? And I think if you really search for it, if you pray about it, and you meditate about it, you'll find that actually there's a lot of truth. Actually, a lot of what Mother's saying was going to happen 1 year ago actually happened this past year of 2024. And I want to share a little bit about how I came to realize the truth of Mother's kind of prophetic message in the beginning of this year in my own life. And as I do, I'm gonna keep it real, right? You guys know me. But don't worry, Raul, it's not scary. So yeah, I really feel in many ways, we did learn how to live in a new way, and we were being challenged a lot this year about thinking about things in a new way, how to do church in a new way, how to sing new songs and different styles. And even on this past New Year's, as usual, we scheduled our midnight prayer at the Holy Rock, and a lot of people came, but it was raining. We had a really bad, storm beforehand, and so we moved it over into the Cheongsam one. And I felt, and also other people mentioned this, that it almost felt like God was telling us, like, change your ways. Like, you've been doing it that way for so long, be present to where the providence is moving now, what I want to do with you right now. So even though it wasn't like, we got that message beforehand and we decided to do that, it was like God kind of forced us, at the last moment, get with the program, guys. And so we had a wonderful prayer in the Cheongsam one. And for me personally, I really felt that I had to let go of a lot of concepts, a lot of negativity that I was holding on to. And honestly, a lot of it I didn't realize was there until it kind of came to the surface, and often came up to the surface in very uncomfortable in ways that I really wish it hadn't. But it was the way that God worked in my life. And a lot of these things were things that had held me back in my life of faith, my mission. And there were many times that this year I had to go against my first desire of what I wanted to do, and go deeper to understand what God wants to do. And by the way, I shared a lot of this with our Kodan brothers and sisters, so it's a little bit of a recap for you guys. But for me, this year was in many ways a year about doing the things that I didn't want to do. And I felt that over and over again. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do, but doing it anyway. And one of the big things for me, which I think a lot of you know, is my decision to continue on as a pastor, right? I think most of you know that this past year was a struggle for me, and that there were definitely times where I really wanted to stop. And there were times where I just felt like it was too much for me. I felt unworthy. I felt I didn't have results. I didn't feel like I had qualifications. I wasn't chosen as a strategic community pastor, right? And I found myself constantly comparing myself to others, to other young pastors in our movement, thinking about how I'm failing, and I thought about this community, and a big reason why I felt I wanted to step down was because I felt that you all deserved a better leader. And I thought, well, they would have loved to have this person and that person, and it would be so great for all of you guys. And there were many times where I just felt it was better if I just wasn't here. And that feeling was so strong that I went as far as talking to Pastor Naokimi this past year, and requesting if I can step down. And we actually talked 3 times, and I made the request 3 times. So kind of like, Jesus asked Father and he said no 3 times, right? Now Kimi said no 3 times. Well, he actually, each time he said, well, think about, he gave me something to think about. He said, well, have you thought about this? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't think about that. So let me think about that. And I took some time to think about it. And came back. I said, okay, I thought about what you said, and I still want to quit. And he was like, okay, Justin, have you thought about this? Oh my gosh. So each time I went to him, he gave me a new reason to stay. What about this? What about that? And each time I left feeling more and more frustrated. Like, oh my gosh. I just felt like, am I just a slave? Am I just a slave to God? You know, do I have my own freedom, any choice in this matter? I felt really angry. And finally, the third time that I went to talk to him, again, I said, you know, now, Kimi, I thought about it all. I thought about everything you said, and I still want to quit. And he said to me, Justin, if you quit, you need to quit victoriously. He said, you need to quit because you found something that excites you and something that you want to move towards, something that's bigger than what you're doing right now. And when he said that, I had to admit that if I quit now, I would be quitting because I was listening to that negativity. I was listening to all the doubts, all the fears, all the insecurities that I had. And it wasn't because I was inspired to do something bigger. But still, I felt trapped. I was like, this guy knows me too well. He's using everything he knows about me against me. And my God, it was very hard to digest. But after that third conversation, I did decide, okay, I will keep going. But to be honest, I was not inspired about it. And because I wasn't inspired to be in this position, be in this mission, I realized for now, Justin, just do, just act. Don't think, don't feel, just act. And I felt that was all I could do. So I stayed busy. I tried to do things that I could, you know, logically say it's a good thing. It's a plus. Why not? So I thought about the things I can do, and you know, I realized that one of my biggest challenges in my life, my entire life, is that I worry way too much about the results. I worry way too much about whether or not something is worth doing or not worth doing. I worry about how many people are going to show up if I do this, if my actions will bring results. And I realize that I just have to focus on what's my next step? What am I doing right now? And I have to plant seeds and God will make the result. And so I did many things. One of the things, as many of you know, was I committed to going to the garden every week and just to do work, you know, whatever was needed, planting seeds, watering things, pulling weeds, it didn't matter, just try to make a more beautiful environment. And it also, I realized through that I got to work on my own home environment, you know. So I thought, let me plant a garden at home. Let me start cleaning up our yard and, you know, contribute there. So I started to do that. And then at one point I decided to go witnessing. Again, a year of doing things I didn't want to do, but I decided just do it. And we went out and we did the surveys. We organized different events, the Peace Starts With Me seminars, going to visit with our young people, doing blessing interviews, just doing the things that I was expected to do, right? And honestly, it was still hard. It for a long period, it was just hard. It was just difficult. And every time, you know, we meet once a week, we meet with other leaders, with the pastors all around the nation. And, you know, honestly, every time those national leaders came up, I would just find myself comparing myself to all the great things happening there and all around the country, and just feeling so defeated and so unworthy and depressed. But as the years went on, and as I continued to act, I started to realize that I actually enjoyed a lot of the things that I was doing. That I enjoyed going to the garden. I enjoyed going I enjoyed going witnessing. I enjoyed talking to people. And I also, in the process, found and realized that I was becoming a new person, a person that I never knew I could be. I was becoming someone who could act without the feelings to push me. And I became someone who realized that I enjoyed working with my hands, that I enjoyed just being, getting dirty and grasping the dirt. And honestly, I never thought that I would become that kind of person. And especially I realized that I enjoy going out and working with the people I'm working with. I enjoyed going witnessing because I got to go with Kanai, and I got to go with Mika and Shinmi, and that experience was actually really enjoyable. And I enjoyed visiting our members, hearing their stories, getting to know what's on their heart. I enjoyed praying in the Chanshinwan. I really got deep experiences from going to the Chanshinwan. And I became someone who could enjoy the process without having any certainty of the results. Just enjoy the process. And as I reflect on this past year, I can't say it was a year of explosive growth and extraordinary results, right? I can't say that. We're still working on it. We still have work to do in our community to bring fruits. But for me personally, it was a year of incredible personal transformation. And it was a year of letting go of negative energy. For me, that negative energy was the energy of comparison. It was the energy of envy. It was the energy of constantly looking at others and seeing my inefficiencies. For me, again, it was that energy of worrying all the time about my results and comparing my results to other people's results. And in some ways, when I look back, I even feel maybe the lack of results was God's way of forcing me to face the real battle that was inside of me, to face my greatest fears and insecurities of not being enough. And in that sense, I can even say, God, thank you for the no results. Thank you for the lack of results, God. And, when I first heard that this was a year about blowing away negative energy, honestly, I didn't think about it that much. It was just like, oh, who wouldn't want that? That sounds nice, But I never knew what these simple words of Mother would end up meaning for me today. And I think it's important for us to reflect on this. What is God trying to do in your life, in our life personally? So many times we look to the world, we look to the movement, we look to what's happening out there to find meaning in our life, to find that sense of security, to find that sense that I'm enough, that everything is going to be okay, that I made the right choices, right? When we think about the year of the Blue Dragon, maybe we just thought, oh, we're doing all these things and we're putting the Blue Dragon out there, the Blue Dragon tour and the Blue Dragon this, and right. And all of the things that our movement was trying to do, because our movement was trying to do things to blow away that negative energy, right? Negative concepts, things that we've collectively maybe hung on to, right? But I think if we just focus on what the movement's doing out there and think that that's it, that that's all the meaning there is, we miss the point. We miss the point of what God is actually trying to do for each and every one of us in a very personal way. That God is trying to work in our life to blow away the negative energy. So I believe this is a time when we can really go inside and look into our hearts, into our minds, and to really experience the work that God is doing. God is constantly working to transform us into our true selves, into becoming those true sons and daughters that can have that real and authentic relationship with God. So I hope this year was a year of transformation, a year of rebirth for you. And I think in many ways, all it takes is to take that moment of reflection to realize the real way that God has been working in your life. In the end, God is always with us. God always loves us no matter what, regardless of our results. And God just wants us to grow to become more and more our true self. And ultimately, that is the message that I left 2024 with. And it's the message that I want to bring into 2025, going deeper and discovering the bigness of God's heart, the depth of God's love. And I really want to thank all of you for being with me on this journey. I couldn't learn the lessons that I've learned. I couldn't experience what I've experienced if it wasn't for all of you. And so I do truly feel blessed to have all of you. And yeah, I have just incredible gratitude and love. And thank you for a beautiful 2024. And I'd like to just conclude with reading our 2025 motto from True Mother. She says, in the 13th year of Chanulguk, when we attend the Creator, Heavenly Parent substantially, let us, the blessed families around the world, become true sons and daughters of Chanulguk, who fulfill our responsibility as the chosen people in unity with true parents. So it might take a whole year for us to realize what this is. But that's okay. Let's sit with it, and let's trust, and let's believe God is with us. It's all good. God bless you all. Thank you. Happy New Year. And let's take some time to reflect. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Justin, for your reflections. So yeah, let's take 4 minutes, pair share. These are the questions. So what were some of the biggest lessons from 2024? And was there an overall theme or themes that stuck out to you? You can choose one of the questions or both, but yeah, just take 4 minutes, grab a partner. Yeah. Please switch if you didn't switch yet. Great. So you can just finish your thought and you can come back to the center of the room. And if anyone would like to share their own reflections and what they shared with your partner. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I didn't notice.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to thank Dominique for creating that garden, because if it wasn't for him, Pastor Justin would not have gotten his hands dirty, and we may have lost him. So it's interesting what he said, because you have to get your hands dirty to actually help things to grow. You have to go through that difficulty. Otherwise, it will never, nothing will grow. So it's the same with the community. You know, unfortunately, you had to go through that dirty struggle so that the community will grow. And it's still growing, because it takes years for an oak tree to become big and mighty, and it will last forever. So we're grateful for the garden. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. Yes, very grateful for the garden. Would anyone else like to share? Oh, okay.
Hello. Hi. Hi. My name is Patrick. I'm on GPA as well. So I haven't been here in a few months, but hi guys. Yeah. I'm a first year. Yeah, Justin, that was a really good talk. I feel like it's been a while since I've been in Belvedere service. So it was nice to see that video and just like updates basically and see how much like I've been around this year, or just like what's Belvedere been doing this year. But I think the talk, or just like little message, was very, very relatable. Like as a person in GPA, I was like, dang, like everything you're talking about, I was like, wow, I was actually like what I was going through. It was like almost the same, because I struggled a lot with like comparing myself and like really worrying about result and like how much am I growing. I didn't think about like I was like, how much am I doing, and how much am I growing? How much am I doing? How much am I making? And it wasn't really about a higher purpose or for anything but myself usually. So I feel like it's something what you said actually is something I gained towards the end of this year. Yeah, so I apply it next year, but it was just like really enjoying the process. For like for GPS, the whole thing to enjoy like what you're doing, because otherwise you just feel like you wasted a year. So the main thing I feel like I took away was just like really enjoy what you're doing and make every second and every time, every like minute count, because like it's only once in a lifetime thing to do. I feel like just living your life like that also makes you really appreciate when you do get a result eventually. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to share? Okay.
Well, I'm from out of town, so I'm Hilda. I think for me, the biggest thing was that I figured out that I need to be in love. So in Las Vegas, I did find a spiritual child, but that just happened because I participated in the world out there in such eagerness. I didn't think of witnessing. I just wanted to be with other people. And then it turned around eventually. I had a spiritual experience in Junction 1 room, and it's too long to tell, but at the end, there was the picture that I was bowing, and then a street opened up, and two parents were on the left, father, on the right, mother, just like they were in the picture. And suddenly the whole room started shaking, and spirits came. They moved around, and they just were running towards a street that was up to true parents, basically letting us into the gate of heaven. That's how I experienced it. That's how I was reading it. And they were so eager, they wanted to like push the other one or shove the other one, I don't know. But when they got there, true parents just were sweeping us in. There was no question, there was no mood change, there was no judgment, nothing. And I think this was my real spiritual birthday. After 50 years being in the movement. And from that day on, I walked out of my house and I thought, wow, who does not know that story yet? And I felt like I wanted to invite people. So in Las Vegas, you just, to get your exercises, you have to get up at 4 a.m. and run around at the park. Or go to the gym. It's just so hot and dry. And then I saw all these other people who get up at that time. And I thought, well, each and every one just make circles. And I meet them 3 times, 4 times, right? And then I could say, oh, are you coming here often? And then I went to Red Rock hiking. And that's where somehow probably the other journey began. I created a women's organization because I have the block. I feel I can't go and invite people immediately to the only begotten daughter of God. It's too extreme for me. And I asked, I prayed and said, God, what should I do? I mean, how do I? And then the answer was just invite people. So I'm not using the word witnessing anymore. I'm inviting people to my life. And in order to have something to give, I need to be in love. And I can tell you from my profession, and Justin knows, I'm a coach. So I am in love with God's dream. I'm so in love with it. There's nothing more exciting, important. I can shift from any mood out into I'm in love with community, with family, but community. So this organization that I started, we had 7 big meetings. I did crazy in 7 months, and I fly every 2 months back to Las Vegas in order to grow that organization and to make it a nationwide organization. And I feel this could be a bridge to WFWP. So it is already. I already have several people who read Mother's book and Father's book and come and maybe want to go to Korea and so on. I mean, I just finally, I have to say, finally, after 50 years, I'm in love.
Wow. Wow, amazing. Amazing. Yes. Yes, let's all be in love, right? Yes. So yes, let's bring up the song team and end the song together.
Just such wonderful testimonies, such beautiful words from everybody. Good song. So let's close with the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Let it begin with me. Everyone knows this song, so just sing out. Be free. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin. Let there be peace on earth. The peace that was meant to be. Lord, as a father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my sisters in perfect harmony. Everybody sing. Let me begin. Let this be the moment now. Wherever step I take, let this be my soul and bond. Take each moment and let each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let us sing it again. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as a father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my sisters. Let me walk with my sisters. Perfect harmony. Take each other's hands. Let peace be with me. Let this be the moment now. Wherever I change, let it be my soul and all. Take each moment, live each moment in peace. Oh, let there be peace on earth, and let it be with me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Amen. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Happy 2025. Have a great week, everybody.